wars are officially over. The console wars are officially over. The console wars are officially over. And
It's been over. And it's been all a dream. I used to pick up PlayStation magazines, got Xbox and Nintendo in the limousine. I got the Sony pictures on my wall. Bro, what are you doing, bro? Nobody cares, bro. Because at the end of the day, the output of games that we've been getting has been lackluster, man. Y'all waiting 5 to 7 years for some video games. You people act like y'all don't age.
I have to admit that I didn't really expect this bloodbath to go so badly for everybody. Like, in the conversation...
But PlayStation 5 got 80 million hardware sales. They the winner. You see how far that winning got you, buddy? Because at the end of the day, even Sony don't care about you. And this is what I was trying to tell you fools. Games still win another W. When you guys kept saying that PlayStation 5 is the market leader, but yet every time Microsoft does something, the quote-unquote market leader follows as to what Microsoft is doing. That makes absolutely no sense that a company that is selling 80 million PlayStation 5s and they out here copying a platform with only 30 million platforms to their name.
PlayStation versus Xbox. Historically, a lot of times we talk about the raw digits. Who's selling the most games, the controllers, the consoles. And in that way, Sony is way, way, way out in the front. Like, they have over 80 million PlayStation 5s, whereas when it comes to Xbox, they're not even reporting on their numbers, but the rough estimates is that they've sold about 30 million Xboxes.
So how can we say that? I mean, that's a rough estimate, which also means it's biased. I mean, let's say... you guys are talking about, well, they're not even counting them anymore, so we don't really know how many Xboxes they are. Like you said, it's an estimate of what you believe how many people picked up an Xbox. It could even be higher. But yet, ain't none of you people going to argue, oh, come on, Games, it ain't higher than 30 million. I mean, you guys have been saying 30 million for the past 3 years, bro. Like, you people been saying the same exact narrative dialogues, and the funny thing is, you guys act like ain't nobody buying an Xbox, even the Series S, for an example.
When it comes to just those raw numbers, it's a blowout. But I have to say that the weird part of this is that, in a lot of ways, Sony has never gotten so dang lazy. They're more profitable than they've ever been. They're bigger than they've ever been. They're straight up just posting financial reports that they consider themselves the king of gaming. But in a lot of ways, both Sony and Xbox have kind of been destroyed by this console war in a way that I just really still feel like
the same console war that you fanboys have advocated for, and now look at it. Even PlayStation 5 owners, the same ones that kept saying, we are winning. Well, in reality, as gamers, we're all losing in the end. Games still win another W. I told you guys this already. Get your retro games you need. How many times I gotta keep doing in these videos? And you people still ain't listening to me, man. Bro, I don't even care about Xbox or PlayStation. Like I said, I'm going to still continue to get my game on. But in regards to supporting these companies in the way that I used to, that ain't happening, bro. Discounts, that's what we doing. $19.99, bargain bin prices is what we doing. I'm sorry, bro. I cannot support the way this industry is. Now, I know a lot of people, regardless of my opinions on it, are going to still go out there and buy these games for full price value. I'm just not going to be one of them.
Dust is still settled. Historically, I'm the kind of guy where, obviously, I've been gaming since the Atari 2600.
Oh, really? I thought you started gaming with the Dreamcast, because somebody gave it to you. Ain't that the story that you told people? Now, all of a sudden, it's the Atari 2600. Bro, this man don't know nothing about no Atari 2600. What about the Intellivision, ColecoVision? Let's really get in depth with this. How about the SG-1000, Sega Master System? This man is nothing but a liar.
Historically, console wars were about the exclusive.
Oh, here we go. Put that book down, bro. Ain't nobody cared about that. Sega and Nintendo, a battle that defined a generation. Bro, ain't nobody want to read this trash. Man, you need to take that under a fireplace and burn it, bro. Look at that. I got the console war Bible. Listen to me, guys. Like, bro, who is this dude, bro? Sega ain't even making consoles, bro. How is this even remotely relevant as to what's going on now? Like, I bet you can't even say as to why.
Like, even in books about it, the whole thing was originally, hey, here's Mario versus Sonic, or even, stuff like the PlayStation 1. Here's these early 3D graphics. Here's full cutscenes for Final Fantasy VII. That's the stuff that sold systems. That's the stuff that sold hype. That's the stuff that made you...
Well, also, it's more than just exclusives because a lot of those games was available on other platforms too. Not the Marios, not the Sonics at the time, but I'm saying in regards to the evolution. It has more to do with the 2D evolution of 2D games going to 3D. Regardless if it was exclusive or not, people was going to be intrigued by that because that was something that we've never seen before. Now you fast forward to 2020, like I said in the live stream, Games to Win Another W, a lot of these games are starting to look the same. You know, where's the jaw-dropping moments? Where's the moments where, yeah, we do have good games, but this is what I want to know. Like, this is how it was back in the days. When I seen games, my jaw dropped, okay? Like, when I seen my dad's face and he seen Mario 64 for the first time, I swear, bro, he don't even like the game, but he was so impressed by it. What happened to those days? See, that's where gaming is not exciting anymore. It's more of the same cookie-cutter games that they've been making with just better performance options. That's all you're getting. All your games play entirely the same. Oh, but we hit the limitations. Oh, really? Using PlayStation 4 hardware as a template to push cross-generation games? And y'all talking about how we pushing for better graphics and resolutions?
Actually want to pick up the controller of your choice. Whereas now, we're in a strange spot where PlayStation is starting to put their games on Xbox. They've released financial reports saying essentially they're excited to put more games on Xbox. Whereas Microsoft, first-party stuff, has gone completely third-party. The only copies of Xbox games that are selling at this point are selling on PlayStation. That's not even a joke. We're going to take a look at the numbers, but
it makes sense, though. Have you noticed that even PC gamers that buy a lot of games, they're not buying these games either? Because ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. Game Pass. Why would they have to buy an Xbox game if it's available through a subscription service that they're already paying for? You ponies already know this. Like, this is not news anymore, man. It's stupid. You have no other option but to buy the game.
I really want to break this all down because a lot of people, now that the console wars are over, it seems like a lot of the fans are just basically saying, okay, are we better or worse? Has the lack of competition, the lack of fight from Xbox made PlayStation lazier than they've ever been?
No, because PlayStation doesn't need to fight for the consumer dollar because you know why? They have their competitor making the better games for them. That's why they're struggling to do live service and subscription games. This is probably why Microsoft said, you know what? Let's put our games there. PlayStation ain't no competition. Like, you guys are stupid, bro. This was never about console wars. This was all about making the most money. Sony sees it, and Nintendo will follow suit when the time sees fit. It is what it is, man. You console fanboy warriors are done. Get over it.
Like, just consider this. I like my PlayStation. I game on PS5 a lot, but at this point, what are the crazy exclusives that make me extremely excited to have bought a PS5 day one, right? I mean, Returnal was great, Spider-Man 2 was great, God of War Ragnarok, Astrobot, like, there are good games, but the fact that I can list them on one hand, I think it's a significant sign about the generation from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. Even if PS5 won, even if Xbox is dead, I do think we've kind of lost something. And I want to break that down. Let's get it.
And PlayStation will be another Xbox. Like I said, bro. Remember we had a guy in our live stream arguing, saying, "Oh, gaming is far better now than it was better back then. We have way more games now." I mean, in some case, unless you're counting Froggo 1, 2, and 3, then maybe. But in regards to quality and quantity, definitely not. But let's talk about that, shall we? You know, I mean, the N64 was known for having one of the most lackluster libraries of video gaming history. Dreamcast guy said he had a problem naming 5 games on PS5 that are exclusive on one hand. So let's see if we could do that for the old generations. We had Wave Race 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, GoldenEye, World Is Not Enough, Fighting Force. I mean, this is on the 60. Chameleon Twist 1 and 2, Castlevania, Legacy of Darkness, Castlevania 64. No, was it? I think it was Legacy of Darkness. What was the other? Bomberman 64, Bomberman Second Attack, Bomberman Hero. Like, it's already over. Ogre Battle 64, Harvest Moon 64. Like, it's already over. Killer Instinct 2 Go, Mario Kart 64, Mickey Speedway, Diddy Kong Racing. It's already over. PlayStation is already dead. The 64 only had about 267 games to its name, and yet they had a better quality. Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. It's done. Take your little PS5 and ship it back home. And what's even more crazy, those games were way more revolutionary when they came out than what you're getting now. Super Mario 64, Rocket Robot on Wheels. You're done. Armorines, Turok 1, 2, and 3. It's done. Rage Wars. What quality Nightmare Creature? What quality of games do you have? Y'all like damn games, so you're right though. You're right. You know, those games you can sit back and cherish them. You know, you can't cherish these games, bro. And the funny thing is, the 5 games that you mentioned, these ain't games that I want to replay, bro.
Hi, I am Dreamcast Guy, and if you could put this isn't photoshopped, it's an actual screenshot of PlayStation.com that says, hey, do you want to buy a PlayStation game? Because
purchase it on Xbox.
Funded partially by Sony. This is a PlayStation project.
Hey, look at that.
Buy it on Xbox. A link to take you from PlayStation.com to Xbox.com. That's a wild thing to see.
Look at that. They all working together. I told you fools, man. There was never no console war.
Out of the race. Yes, the best place to play Xbox games other than PC. Obviously,
look at that. They're telling you to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro for a Microsoft game, bro. Y'all really think they fighting amongst each other? They laughing at you. Games with another double. I told you this, man. They laughing at you, man. They all here having breakfast. Look at these ponies. I know. These Xbox dudes think we're on their side because of Game Pass. I know, Microsoft. We playing them too. Hey, matter of fact, we don't even need to make games because we're making more money off 30% if we made fair games, huh? Sony, that's a good one. Hey, we getting that Halo? Of course you're getting that Halo. Of course. Why not? You think we care about these Xbox fanboys? We clearly don't care about their feelings.
Fair Games, they bought this studio that had never released a game. And remember, they did that same thing with Fire Sprite. That's what came out with Concord, and then immediately shut them down. They bought this studio called Haven, making this like looter shooter co-op bank heist game.
They seen Borderlands 4 and they said we gotta cancel it.
Haven Studios, Fair Games. We still haven't even seen this. They showed this, and we still haven't even seen this. Look, not caring about that passion, that polish, that unique Japanese fingerprints to a lot of their stories that were so good.
What do you mean Japanese fingerprints? Because Japanese fingerprints, like I've already touched up on this. The Japanese game, though. Japanese, though. The game is Japanese. Yeah, right. You guys play a bunch of mainstream Japanese games. Y'all here walking around with a police, freaking raccoon police department out here shooting zombies. What do y'all talk about, bruh? Y'all ain't even got Japanese protagonists in these Japanese games, no? What you mean, though? How is Metal Gear Solid a Japanese game? Hey, yo, you people are ridiculous, man. Y'all don't know nothing about gaming, man. It's Japanese, though. How is it Japanese, though? And the character ain't even from Japan. How is it a Japanese game if it's not even based off Japanese folklore or culture? You guys like, oh man, I see what you can say in games. So y'all don't like Japanese games. Y'all like Japanese, games made by Japanese people, but westernized. That's why Final Fantasy is popular, because they westernized it. Like, I mean, come on, bro.
What if we just gave all that up?
It ain't Japanese, though.
Slop. And a lot of people were just immediately saying, this is so dumb. Blatantly stupid. But you know what?
It's Japanese, though. I mean, God of War ain't Japanese. Horizon ain't Japanese. Uncharted ain't Japanese. Gran Turismo ain't Japanese, though. Your games ain't Japanese, bro. You can look no further than the PS4 and PS5 library and see that they're not Japanese, though. Those are your Japanese games. Marvel Spider-Man, that's Japanese. Hey, yo, they're going to be saying Gamester gone woke with this one, man. Yo, y'all don't know nothing about gaming, man. You know, PlayStation ain't been doing Japanese games ever since that Sony of Japan abandoned that market in favor for the American gaming division. Like I've said before, the true essence of Sony has already died, as far as I'm concerned. The only reason why they still do it, because it's still profitable in the West. That is it. That's the only reason. That's why Sony of Japan, the fact that Sony of Japan left shows you that Sony is the one that did. Well, Sony was the one that died. Because you know you have a dead platform when the main source, it's like saying Xbox of Japan is what runs Microsoft's gaming division. Or Nintendo of America is what calls the shots of Nintendo Japan. At the end of the day, Nintendo Japan calls the shots for Nintendo all around the world. Same thing with Microsoft for where they put their play. That is the main headquarters. But when you're telling me that a company that started in Japanese and they out here outsourcing their products because the Americans still buy their Call of Duties, then clearly the focus of Sony of Japan is not there. That's why you don't see those games anymore like you used to.
We know what.
Because it ain't Japanese, though.
And it's the fact that PlayStation has got wild. Look at this. PlayStation is this chunk of the pie. Steam is this chunk of the pie. Xbox is this chunk of the pie. I've been saying multiple times now that Xbox gamers don't buy games. And when I say that, people get pissed at me. And, like, sometimes people don't understand. Data is this.
I mean, think about it, though. I mean, even though Xbox gamers didn't buy Mafia Old Country, a lot of people talk poorly about it. And like you said, you brought up 800,000 sales between PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, and it only got 800,000? So that means even on PlayStation, they barely bought the game. Yeah, you might have bought it more than Xbox, but even then, you still didn't buy the game either. Like, you get what I'm saying? And this is why these companies are going under.
Very separate thing. There's anecdote.
Bro, back then, games would easily hit 1 million, and now they struggling. You're trying to tell me that gaming is more popular now than it ever has been, and yet games are selling far worse now on average. It's true. Most games back then were at least hitting 1 million on a greatest hit. At least. Especially on multiple platforms. You got games barely hitting 1 million now. And that has more to do with the free-to-play market.
Phantom Dust bomb. There's a reason we never got Phantom Dust 2-3, right? Sometimes people forget outside their bubble.
Oh, that like every other PlayStation exclusive, like Killzone and all that. Why we don't see those games? Because they failed.
Things are different. And the raw numbers of the fact that at this point, PlayStation, even if they're releasing games, they don't have to. PlayStation has realized
GameStop
Xbox
another
will make
W
games that sell like crazy. Because of it, now people are buying games only on PlayStation. It becomes this weird cycle.
GameStop another W. I told you guys this, man. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because those sales that you guys are talking about is being mostly pushed by third party, and I guarantee the reason why they pick up PS5 over the Xbox is mostly due to nostalgia. It is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this whole platform war, who plays here, who plays there, those days is over, man. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And like I said, the game ain't Japanese, though.